In this video, I am going to tell you how to create a stopwatch using Kiwi. By the end of this video, we will have this stopwatch which shows the current time in 24-hour format and has an option to start a stopwatch, stop it and reset it. So keep watching. Hi there, welcome to Saral Gyan. In this video, we will be creating a stopwatch using Kiwi. Kiwi allows you to create multi-platform GUI apps which can run on Windows, Mac, Linux, Android and even iOS. In my opinion, we learn the most by building stuff. So we will jump right into the code and at the end of the video, we will be having a working stopwatch and a lot of knowledge about Kiwi. So we will open the terminal and create a new directory and then cd into it. Now I will start and activate a virtual environment. One thing you need to know about Kiwi is it supports up to Python 3.7. So we need a virtual environment running Python 3.7. And for that I will be doing Python 3 -m when dot. The virtual environment has been created and now we will activate it by saying source bin activate. If you want to know more about virtual environment, watch our previous video on it. And now we will install Kiwi module using pip install Kiwi. Now the Kiwi module is installed, we will create a new file called main.py and here we will do from kiwi.app import app and then we will create a new class called stopwatch app which will inherit from the app, and as for now we will be passing it. And finally we will be doing main is equal to name stopwatch app run. Now if we save it and run this code, we will have this blank screen with the title called stopwatch. To create a user interface in Kiwi, we have a layout file in .kv format. Creating a Kiwi app is quite similar to creating a web app as it holds the code in the Python format, which in this case will be main.py file, and the layout in .kv format. While creating a layout file, we need to follow a general convention. Since we have created a class called stopwatch app, so our layout will be stopwatch.kv. So while naming your .kv file, you have to skip the app part from your class and then Kiwi will automatically detect your layout file. Moving on to the layout file, you can say that the layout file is a mix of a CSS and a Python file. The declaration resembles CSS, but the code lines follow indentation just like Python code. It will be more clear when we'll start creating our layout file. So in order to print hello world in our app, we have to add label and then text is hello world. Now if we save it and run the main file, our application has a hello world label on it. So let's close it and move back to the code. Since the final app will have three rows, that is the time, start, reset button and the stopwatch, it is better to use the box layout and with orientation set to vertical, and then we will be adding three elements and the first one would be label, and this label will have the text 00 00 00 00 and let's give it a size of 60. If we want to make our R's a bit bold, we can add the markup like this, and then we have to set the markup to be true. This will bold only the R's. If you want to bold the whole text, we don't need to use the markup and instead we can set the property bold to true, but here we are not using it, so let's delete it. The next element is set of the button. Since we need two buttons, we create another box layout, and this time we'll set the orientation to horizontal, and inside it we'll be creating a button with text start and font size equal to 25 and bold true. And for other button we'll be copying this and paste, and here we will say reset. And finally we will add the third element, that would be a label, and inside the label the text would be 0000 dot and size equal to 40, 00 size, and then font size is 60 and markup is true. Now if we save it and run our code, we have got this screen. You will see that all the three elements have taken the equal space, and inside this box layout both the buttons have taken equal space. But this is not what we want. We want our buttons to be smaller and have some space between them, and for that let's close it. Here in this box layout we will be adding padding 20 and spacing 20. Padding works similar to CSS, and spacing is the space between two adjacent elements. And now we will set the height of this box layout to 90, but the height won't work by just declaring it. For this we will have to set size hint to. Size hint is 1 none, which means that the horizontal size will be equal to that of the parent element and the vertical size is none, as we have declared it as 90. Now if you save it and if you run it, now our buttons are smaller and they are equally spaced, so it looks better. Let's add some color to our button, and for that I have saved 4 9 patch images, blue normal, blue down, red normal and red down. We will be using them for the normal layout and then the pressed layout. And we will open a code, and in KV file in the start button we will be doing background underscore normal is blue underscore normal dot png, and is blue underscore down dot png, and then border will be equal to 2 2 2 2, and let's copy this, and here of blue will be doing red. Save it and run it. So now our buttons have got colors and it looks better, and if you press it the color changes a bit. Same is the case with the reset. Moving on, since we will be accessing all these elements from our Python code, it is better to give IDs to them so that they are easily accessible. And for that, here label we will give the ID of time, and to this start button we will give an ID of start underscore stop, and to this reset button we will give ID of reset, and this label here we will be giving ID of stopwatch. By doing this we can easily access all these elements from our Python code. And now we will move to the code part. First of all, we need to show the time, and for that inside a stopwatch app class we will create a function called update time, which will take two arguments, self and nap. In here we will set self dot root dot ids dot time dot text is equal to strf time, and then in strf time we will be using this bold markup, and then the r's, and then we close the bold markup, and then we'll be using the minutes, and finally we'll be using the seconds. So here what we are doing, we are checking all the IDs, and in these IDs we are picking up the time ID and then setting the text to this. Here the time ID is of this element, so this label is our time and it will be getting its value from here, and we have to import strf time also, so we'll doing from time import strf time. And then to run the clock we will use clock function from the Kiwi module, and that we will have to import, so we'll be doing from kiwi dot clock import clock, and then we'll create a function called define on start, and it will take an argument called self, and inside we'll be doing clock dot schedule underscore interval, and then self dot update underscore time 0. Here we are setting the nap time as 0 because our stopwatch has 1/100th of the second, which will not be visible on most of the 60 fps screen, and hence virtually our clock will be updated every second. And if you save it and run our code, so now our watch has got a time on it. So let's close it. To add the functionality of the stopwatch, we will create two class variables here. And now in our update time function, we will say if self.sw started, then self.sw seconds plus is equal to nap. This will give us a number of seconds when the stopwatch is started, and now we will have to break down those seconds into minutes, seconds and parts of second. We will be using div mode, which gives dividend and the remainder. So here minutes seconds is equal to div mode of self dot sw underscore seconds comma 60, and then for the part of the second we'll be doing part underscore seconds is equal to seconds into 100 remainder 100, and then we will set the text of the stopwatch, and for that we will be doing self dot root dot ids dot stopwatch dot text, and we will be using the f strings here, and for that we will be doing f, and first of all we'll be doing int of minutes, and then we'll be using zero padding up to 2 digits, and then int of seconds, we have to close it here and here, then ints of seconds and 0 to close it, and then finally dot size is equal to 40, and then int of part seconds 0 to, and then close the size. Here we have used the Python f strings with zero padding, and if you want to learn more about it, I will leave the link to the tutorial in the description below. Moving on, now we need to add functionality to our buttons, and for that we will create two functions. The first one would be start underscore stop and self, and inside this we will be doing self dot root dot ids dot start underscore stop dot text. It will be start if self dot sw started, else stop. What we are doing here is, if the button is pressed when the sw underscore started is true, that is stopwatch is not running, it will stop, and so the text on it will show start and otherwise stop. And then we will be doing self dot sw underscore started is equal to not self dot sw underscore started, and the other function would be reset. And here we will be doing if self dot sw underscore started, then self dot root dot ids dot start underscore stop dot text is equal to start, and self dot sw underscore started is equal to false. Self dot sw underscore seconds is equal to 0. Here it will set the seconds to 0 and change the text to start. To add this function to our buttons, we will move to our .kv file, and in the start button we will be doing on underscore press is app.start underscore stop, and in reset button we will be doing on underscore press is app.reset. Now if we save it and run our application from here, we have got an attribute or error of press. So let's move to the kv file, and we forgot to add an extra s here, so we are good to go. So save it again and run it. So now we have this clock, and if we press start, this starts running, and then we can stop it, it stops, and if you reset it, it gets reset. Now we have a fully functional stopwatch. You can start it, stop it, and reset it. But it doesn't end here. There are few other things which I want to show you. The first one is setting the background colors. For that we need to make two imports, and here we will be defining the Python convention, and instead of importing the modules at the top, we will be doing it inside our if main function. And the reason for that is some imports in Kiwi are actually order dependent and have side effects, so it is better to import them in an order. So here we will be doing from kiwi.core.window import window, and then from kiwi.utils import get color from hex. Then we will do window dot clear color is equal to get underscore color underscore from hex, and we'll set it as hash 4b5162, which is a shade of gray. So now we have a background color of our choice. Let's save it and run it, and now our clock has a grayish background. We can also add a desirable font to our application, and for that you have to download the TTF file and save it in our directory. For example, I have downloaded the Roboto-medium and Roboto-thin, and I will be using these two fonts in my applications. Again, in our main class I will be doing from kiwi.core.text import label base, and under this we will be doing label base dot register name is equal to Roboto, and then we will be doing fn underscore regular is equal to Roboto hyphen thin dot ttf, and fn underscore bold is equal to roboto hyphen medium dot ttf. So here it is thin, t is big. We have set thin as the regular font and medium as the bold font. And now moving to the kv file, instead of changing it in each button, we can set a certain property at the top just like css. So here at the top we will be doing button, and here we will say font underscore name is roboto, and then we will say font underscore size is 25 and bold is true, and then we can delete this font size and bold from here and here and save it. Similarly we can do this for label also. So here we can say label, and in label the font size and markup we can cut from here and we can set it here, and also the font name, and we need to remove this markup from here because we have declared it at the very top. So now we are good to go. But if you want some of your element to look different than the other, then you can always add the property here, and this property will overtake the property declared above. So let's save it and run our file again. So we have got an error that label base has no attribute register. So I have misspelled register here, so let's correct it, save it again and run it. And one more thing you need to follow here is that you have to move the label above the buttons, because if you will move the button above it and then declare the label, then the size of the label in this button will also be 60. So I have moved the label above and now I have saved it. And if I go to stopwatch and run it, now the font is Roboto and the background is grayish. You can start it, stop it and reset it. So we have successfully created our first application in Kiwi. We have learned about box layout, setting background colors, changing fonts and much more. I will leave the GitHub link to the code in the description below. This is it for this video. In the next video we will learn more about Kiwi by working on some other application, maybe a paint app, and to be notified about the same, you have to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon. If you have enjoyed our video, give us a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Bye bye for now. Thank you.